Welcome back to video 3 in a series of 3. This is where we finalize our discussions about the PMP exam mindset. The mindset for the PMP exam is one that espouses the 12 principles of the PMI in the PMBOK Guide 7th edition. So far we've covered 8 of them, and today we're covering the last 4. Okay, so let's jump straight in to the next principle. The next principle is from the aspect of complexity. And as you see here on the screen, it simply reads, continually evaluate and navigate project complexity. Now let's think about what complexity is. When you say something is complex, there are 2 dimensions that you could think about. You can think about requirements uncertainty from a project management standpoint. When you have requirements that are rather uncertain, not well defined at all, and you have a technical solution that is not very well understood or no technical solution, you are getting into the realm of complexity because you know that something needs to be done, but you don't have a firm handle on what needs to be done. You know that there needs to be a technique, a technical proposal for doing something, but you don't have a firm idea about what that looks like. You're in the realm of complexity. And you need to break things down accordingly into increments to be able to tackle uncertainty much better. We find uncertainty all around us. Case in point, the crazy pandemic we just got through. But you realize that the rollout of the medicine and the vaccines for COVID-19 was a series of experiments. And that is an example of agility. It doesn't have to be branded as Scrum or Kanban before it's Agile. So here on the screen it says complexity is the result of human behavior, system interactions, uncertainty, and ambiguity. Complexity can emerge at any point during the project. You might just wake up and realize everything you thought you knew is not valid, and then it becomes complex. It can happen just like that. Complexity can be introduced by events or conditions that affect value, scope, communication, stakeholder risk, and technological innovation. Project teams can stay vigilant in identifying elements of complexity and use a variety of methods to reduce the amount or impact of complexity. So when you encounter a complex event or circumstance, your best bet is to be agile. Break it down into iterations and deliver increments each iteration that enable you check and go back to the drawing board if things don't comply with expectations. Sometimes you don't even know what to expect. So it really does need to be agile. And that's how you tackle complexity. Let's move to the next one. The next one here is risk. What exactly is risk? Risk, as some of you have already read in the PMBOK Guide and our book, a risk is an uncertain event that could impact your project positively or negatively. Here it says, continually evaluate exposure to risk, both opportunities and threats. Now, why did they make that statement? Because we have positive risks, opportunities, and negative risks that are threats. And it says, continually evaluate exposure to risk, both opportunities and threats, to maximize positive impacts and minimize negative impacts. So what does your PMP radar tell you? Your PMP radar says, alert project manager, not only are you expected to understand how to tackle the negative risks, but you're also expected to be aware that there are positive risks and you should be going after those as well. It says, individual and overall risks can impact projects. What does that mean? What is an individual risk? And what is an overall risk? An individual risk is one that can affect a task or section or segment of the project. An overall project risk is one that can impact the entire project, negatively or positively. It says, risks can be positive opportunities or negative threats. Risks are addressed continually throughout the project. They should be. So for those folks who may have risk documentation like risk registers and may not visit them as often, I encourage you to visit them often. An organization's risk attitude, appetite, and threshold influence how risk is addressed. Some organizations are not very risk management friendly. They say, oh, risk? Just have a document and move on. Why do we need to have all these meetings about what we don't even know will happen? Well, that's the whole idea. That's why you do it, because you don't know. It's uncertain. And you've got to firm up your chance of success, because those uncertain events could impact your project really badly or really awesomely. And if you're blowing past Opportunity Boulevard without doing a good job in positive risk, you're losing out. That's equity going down the drain. Your people are working a product, or some other endeavor, and they're blowing straight past millions, maybe billions of dollars. Are you kidding? You need to be all up in risk from a positive angle as well as a negative angle. It says here, risk responses should be appropriate for the significance of the risk. So imagine a big, humongous risk, an opportunity, just waiting for you to harvest it, and you leave it lying on the table for another firm to come pick up. Seriously? No. You as a PMP need to be sensitive to the concept of positive risk. It says risk responses should be appropriate, cost-effective, realistic, agreed to by relevant stakeholders, and owned by a responsible person. Let's move on to our next area, which is adaptability and resiliency. What is adaptability? The summary is it's being agile. So it reads here, build adaptability and resiliency into the organization's and project team's approach. What are we trying to say here? Adaptability means break it down to be agile, iterative increments, plan in iterations. Even if you feel, oh, we planned before, go over it with a fine-tooth comb and ask, does anything need to change in the plan? You know, the great Mike Tyson says, everyone has a plan until they're punched in the mouth. So where's your little plan now? When you're on the canvas struggling to get up, your plan can't help you. You got to be innovative, but don't wait until that discovery is made. Hey, my plan can't work now. What am I going to do? No, no, no. Know that your plan may very well need to go out of the window at certain points. And this is how you build adaptability in. Adaptability is the ability to respond to changing conditions, is what it says, right? You got to build that adaptability into the team's approach to help the project accommodate change, to recover from setbacks, and advance the work of the project. So if you're thrown off in a sprint, you can recover in the next, right? If you're thrown off in one iteration, you can recover because you've broken it down. It's not just one stream of failure. It says resiliency is the ability to absorb impacts and to recover quickly from a setback or failure. A focus on outcomes rather than outputs facilitates adaptability. When we talk about outcomes, you got to think about the overarching result, not the deliverable. The deliverable will only take you so far. It's like a system that you create, and the system's lying right there and no one is using it. And there are benefits that people are not harvesting. That's no good. But if you think about an outcome, you will be more prone to chase those benefits, use a benefits register, a benefits management plan. This is where PMI is trying to direct our thinking. Let's move on to the final one, which is one of my favorites, and it's the aspect of change. So two things that we've mentioned in the closing minutes of this study are agile related. Do you see how important it is to think agile? In fact, if you look at all of these are very agile oriented. See, in the world of agile, we do all of this stuff. We tailor. It's just that we usually tailor up, right? We add more stuff as opposed to getting rid of stuff. We add practices, we add tools, we add additional things, levers that can help us. But in the world of traditional, we tailor down. But tailoring is tailoring, and you need to be in that tailoring mindset. All right, let's take a look at the final one here. It says change. Prepare those impacted for the adoption and sustainment of new and different behaviors and processes required for the transition from the current state to the intended future state created by the project outcome. So what are we saying here? If your organization is going through a sort of transition or change, you need to be focused on the people, and you need to prepare the people. You need to have sense-making sessions, and you need to put yourself in their shoes. It says, a structured approach to change helps individuals, groups, and the organization to move from their current state to a desired future state in an organization transition. So you see, this is not the change to documents or plans that we're talking about. That's smaller scale change. This is bigger, higher stakes change. And as a PMP, the mindset needs to be, my project could very well impact an entire firm, an entire business unit, an entire country, the world. You need to be thinking at a higher level, and you need to be responsible to bring change in a humane and mindful way. It says, change can originate from internal influences or external sources. Enabling change can be challenging as not all stakeholders embrace change. Attempting too much change in a short time can lead to change fatigue and or resistance. So what are we saying? There are going to be some stakeholders that are not able to gravitate towards the change because they are threatened, because they feel their objectives are at risk. And we need to understand that, hear them out, and work with them in bringing about that change. It says stakeholder engagement and motivational approaches assist in change adoption. Did you hear that? Stakeholder engagement and motivational approaches help with change. So my friends, over the past number of minutes, we've been talking about every single one of these principles in the PMBOK Guide 7th edition. I hope you found these to be helpful and beneficial. If you have, I would appreciate you hitting the like button. Share these videos with your friends who are taking the exam, maybe those who are certified or are project managers. Make sure you like and subscribe. Thank you very much. Remember, the mindset, it's all encapsulated here. Just read it. Go to tinyurl.com/PMBOK principles. If you're getting ready for the exam and you need help, coaching, mentoring, training, you need to take a course, you can hit one of the links right there below and begin an online course with me on Udemy. Thank you very much. I look forward to helping you and assisting you even more. Bye for now.